Hello and welcome back to Wireman's Whimsy. Today we are going to work with one of the new stamp sets from the mini catalog, and it's called Hello Harvest. So I love the pumpkins, I love the whole fall theme, but I wanted to use this stamp set in a slightly different way, make it kind of all season. So I used the floral and the small flower and the banner greeting to create kind of a springtime summary card. So just to show that you can use the stamp sets for more than what they represent themselves as. So Hello Harvest suggests the cherry cobblers, the Cajun craze, pumpkin pie, those kind of colors, but instead I used brighter colors. I used Flirty Flamingo, Daffodil Delight, Balmy Blue, the Fresh Freesia, and Old Olive is the green that I used, as well as this one I think is Soft Suede? No, Light Crumb Cake. And then these ones are the Petal Pinks. So, and the background paper is Petal Pink. So I thought I'd do kind of two versions of this card, both using the Hello Harvest. This one is super simple. I used Memento ink. I stamped everything down, and then I used the die to cut out the Loveliest Day banner. So, and that's this die right here from the bundle. So I thought for the demo in the video today, I would step it up. So I've got the Petal Pink card base, and then I've got a 5 1/4 by 4 run through with the brick and mortar 3D embossing folder. So I've also already colored and die cut out the bouquets. So from here and here, I've done those. I've die cut out the Loveliest Day piece because I wanted to show you how I colored it. I've also got 2 more small flowers, and I'm just going to see how they look. I don't know how I'm going to use them yet. Setup is going to be the same as this card. So I'm going to start by coloring in the banner. And I did that with my Petal Pinks. What I did first is I went through with the dark Petal Pink, and I just did around the edges like this, around the edge of the mane, and then underneath to kind of create that shadow effect. Now, normally I would color this before I die cut, but I wanted to be able to move the video along. Many of you have said you appreciate the shorter length of my videos and that they don't go on and on. So I want to make sure that I am staying true to that. So I'm using the light Petal Pink and just blending it in. Just gives, like I say, that hint of kind of a little bit of depth and shadow. So I'm just going to come along the top here, down the side, along the bottom. Now I have used the Memento ink, and it is a little more stable than the regular inks, but I don't want to spend too much time coloring over top of the ink because the blends are wet and they can lift and blur the ink a little bit. So I'm just moving a little bit, and in some cases just kind of tapping the ink in, just making sure that I've got good coverage with the color without smearing the ink. So I'm just gonna lean back from that a little bit. Just gonna come across the bottom here. So there we go. So that is the banner colored in. As you can see, this will dry slightly lighter. You can see the two different. This one is much peachier and this one is much softer. But you can see kind of the depth in there. So let's go ahead and put this one together. I'm just going to use my Stampin' Seal. With this one, I'm going to go around the edge because sometimes with the 3D folders, the edges lift a little bit because of the depth of the embossing. So just as usual, going to line this up and pop it down like that. I've put dimensionals on the back of the pieces already, and I'm going to pop one down like this, just kind of in the middle. I'm going to place this without stamping or without sticking it down, just so that I know where to put the other one. And the reason for the small flowers is when I put this together, there are a couple of little gaps that really wouldn't necessarily be there if it was a full bouquet underneath. So I've got those put down like that. Then I'm going to use dimensionals again, and I've put my dimensionals down somewhere. Put them in a very obvious place, and then I just can't find them. So I'm going to dimensionalize the banner. So I'll put 3 on the back of there. And as you can see, I'm at the end of a sheet of dimensionals again, so I'm using all of the edge pieces. I see this every time I get to the edge pieces. The edge pieces are still just as sticky as the dimensionals in the middle, so you can absolutely go ahead and use the edges. Just take your scissors and trim them up. Okay, so I've popped that down like that. This one is slightly lower down than this one and a little bit offset. So I think I'm going to put the one flower kind of like that. Make it go the same way as the rest. And do I need another one over here? I could certainly put one over there. So I've got small dimensionals on the back of these. So these are going to stand up just a little bit further because I do have the dimensionals on. Now this one I'm going to try and drop the dimensional right in the middle so it won't necessarily stand up a little bit further. But there we have a second version. We've got super straightforward, just using the coloring. Then we've got the second one with the brick and mortar embossing folder in the back, and then coloring and using the dies to cut out the flower pieces as well as the banner. So I hope you've enjoyed the 2 versions of this Hello Harvest stamp set, and we will create together again soon.